Alright, so now we have Apoov on the other side of this call. So hello Apoov, and how are you doing?
Hi Jake, I'm doing good. In fact, maybe not that good because I have a flu. It's not a COVID, so don't worry.
Alright.
Just a normal flu. I'm doing good.
So how are you feeling that you were the most requested developer that people wanted to see in these interviews?
I don't know, perhaps it's because I haven't been in public that much, so people don't know anything about me.
And yeah, people were really interested to hear, like, what do you do? Who are you? So, and yeah, people know that you create some of the block art in the game, backgrounds and everything, but like, who are you and what do you do in Pixelwell's, development team?
Basically, as you said, I create blocks and props. I also do the world backgrounds, most of the level design in all the dynamic worlds, and all the visual effects and sounds as well.
Netherworld is by your hand, Secret Base, Jet Race as well?
Yeah, mostly. Some of the so-called modules are done by a few other people, but most of them are done by me.
So you also do some design work, at least if we talk about fishing, and also I think Jet Race was by your hand?
Yeah, when we started Pixel Worlds, all of us, of course, did some design and then we talked about a lot of stuff, but now that time has gone by, I've taken not maybe over the design, but doing at least half of the design. So features like fishing and pets, wiring, and the latest one, as you said, Jet Race, are more or less designed by me. Although, of course, everyone has an input on all our game design, and that's always very welcome. It's always a joint effort, of course.
Where do you find them, your inspiration? This is actually a question from our community. So when designing a feature like, I don't know, Jet Race or pets, so how do you find your inspiration and then also the art design? Like, where do you go? Where do you start? How does that go?
What would be fun for me? That's basically the first thing I think of. If you think of like what inspires me artistically, or I don't think it's anything specific. It's like I like games and pop culture in general. Been growing up with playing games, and my first computer or game console was Commodore 64. So I'm that old. Of course, we have meetings together that we should implement these and these kinds of things, and what would serve the best if we want to raise something up and make something different in the game or so on. So we just throw ideas around, and when we together we decide that this could be good, and from that I start to decide.
Like you said, we try to listen to everybody's opinions and also like community's opinions. So do you feel like it's a lot of pressure when trying to design something, even if it's art or if it's some feature in the game that it like, I hope people like this or
I don't know. I don't feel that much pressure.
Okay.
A short answer is no.
Okay, well, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned a little bit about Commodore 64. So, like, when did you start being an artist? So, how back are we gonna go? And how did you become developer of Kukori, of Pixelwells? Like, tell us a little bit about your background. How you ended up in game development?
I started studying computer sciences and a little bit of programming, but quickly realized that maybe that wasn't my thing. And at the same time, I got interested in 3D graphics and 3D modeling and animation and so on. So I quickly started pursuing that career, and luckily I'm on the right path. So after my studies, I worked a lot of different TV stuff and doing web pages and different media projects, and I worked in a game industry for 12, 13 years or something like that.
Oh, well, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And like,
so how did I come to be in Kukori? Is a couple of guys and the CEO worked in the previous company that we worked together, so I moved from there to here.
If we look at the, for example, Jet Race, as a feature that you designed, and the block design is like almost or maybe all of yours, and it's a little bit different thing. It looks a little bit different than everything else. So what was the hardest thing when designing a feature like Jet Race?
I think it's always, whatever the feature is, it has to work as a separate entity, but still be part of Pixel Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the hard things always are how it affects the economy and so on. Of course, it has to be fun to play. If I had to pick one small detail from what was hard in doing the Jet Race, it was probably the technical design in this specific feature, since we did a lot of work with Midnight Walker getting the flying model right, and also the mounts themselves, like how the player sits in the mount. There's a lot of technical stuff going on that's not visible to the players. It would seem an easy task, but it's actually not.
What about if we go to then something that you like? What's your favorite block in the game and why?
That's a really hard question. I don't know. Maybe I can't pick one. They're all my children.
You have to pick one. Pick your favorite children right now.
Artistically, perhaps it's more. I'm most proud of the world background because that's I can use my skills more maybe there. When doing the blocks and props, you only have 32 by 32 pixels area. That's of course an art itself, but if I had to answer something, it's maybe the Halloween background.
Okay, yeah, so Halloween orb background that we are right now talking about, not background blocks. Yeah. So and they look awesome. They're like they look really good. So when are we gonna have a next one?
The problem with the backgrounds, if I'm honest, it take a lot of space. So you have to dump that all into your phone's memory. It's not about the work. It's not about the is it hard or not. It's maybe that. We also have to balance, like, is it worth it? Of course, people would like to have several new backgrounds, but we'll see. We will have new backgrounds at some point, but I'm not sure yet. What.
Okay, guys, you heard it from here first. There's gonna be new backgrounds, but we don't know when. But
I didn't say when.
Yeah. A community member wanted to ask this. So what is the origin of the boogeyman?
Yeah.
What is that? Or is that something...
If I remember correctly, I'm not sure I do.
Okay.
But there were, I think players were behaving badly on our forums at some point.
Okay.
And created an account called Boogeyman. Just an intimidating name, because I didn't participate in moderating the forums before, so no one knew who Boogeyman was, and people were questioning it, like if it was really a moderator or an admin. But they stopped and gave people warnings and removed some offensive posts. So there's no bigger story behind that.
Okay. One interesting question here. If you would have endless resources, not endless resources, but endless resources to create anything in Pixel World. So it could be absolutely anything. We would give you 1,000 developers right now and they could do it in one day, whatever it is, whatever you would want. What feature would you create to Pixel Worlds?
There's two answers to that.
Okay.
The first, I would create Pixel Worlds 2.
All right.
The second is that I would probably give players better tools for creating their own content in the game. But even if we had like endless resources, it would require a huge amount of work and a large overhaul in the game itself.
Yeah.
But that's what I would like to see, that we had better tools for players to create meaningful and fun content. We're trying our best.
Yeah,
There's limitations at the moment, of course.
Yeah, I think we are going there bit by bit, small steps, small dev team. So,
exactly.
But maybe at some point, 10 years, 20 years from now, we're gonna have Pixel Worlds 2. Who knows? Future is open to everything. So, Any words you would like to say to the community and players watching this video?
Be nice to each other. Because like when you see people discuss anything in modern world, if it's not face to face, it tends to be quite harsh, and people are like not nice to each other. So I think it gets you far in life in general as well.
Yeah.
And as you would say, like I would say, see you in pixel worlds.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Apoov, for this. Once again, like I said, you were the most requested developer to be in this. And finally, we get to hear from the master behind the scenes, so to speak, Apoov. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.